Final lesson in this unit before we get into the review, prevalence and prevention. We're going to take everything we've covered and really review it. Think, peer, share, kind of like a vote. We've looked at 3 treatments. Which one do they think's better? If we think all things considered, finances and efficacy, could just be if you've got a bit of a split, you can have a debate, just a bit of discussion. Jeopardy, 10 minutes, groups of 3 or pairs work well. After that, we get into think, pair, share. What do they think caused the opioid crisis? This dramatic rise in opioid abuse, use, and deaths. This short video explains it, and then afterwards they'll be asked to discuss what reasons the video gave for the rise in the opioid crisis. Some chalk talk. When we talk about prevalence, we can talk about change, so the change over time. And then we've got prevention. So that's just explaining that. Okay, now we've got prevalence, we've got prevention. Do they think addiction's preventable? Just a bit of discussion. Okay, so going back to prevalence, group differences. How many ways can they finish the sentence? Substance abuse is more prevalent in people who, right? And then hopefully from this, they will see, look, when we talk about prevalence, this is all the lessons we've reviewed so far. Okay, so we've got unemployed, low dopamine and secure attachment, more ACEs, more stressed, have a parent that takes drugs. This can be used to explain the differences in prevalence across groups. Okay, changes, we're looking at changes over time. Essentially, the opioid crisis is the change, right? The dramatic rise. And why has it happened? See if students can come up with some possible reasons. In here, I've got 3. Okay. Again, let's come back to this infographic. Hopefully it might work. I've got one here as an example. And in case it didn't make sense, I've got a little audio recording there for you. Then we get to prevention. Okay, all right, imagine you're president for a day. You've got ultimate power. What would you do to prevent opioid addiction? And I just want to get students to think about real world consequences, applications. Would you ban opioids? Would you ban prescription opioids? Yeah, okay, we'll think through the consequences of that. Might just be interesting. And then this could be something they can potentially, if they can come up with these just off their own knowledge and experiences, well then come the exam time, they might be able to make some nice cogent points in an essay that they don't really have to revise a whole bunch of content for. All right, and some space there in the workbook for them to come up with their notes and their ideas. Okay, and that is it. The last lesson is just unit review, like always, the crossword puzzle, the Jeopardies, the traffic lights, etc. I recommend an exam.net test, but you allowed students to have some notes where they bring in like diagrams and stuff, and I put all that on the assessment ideas in the assessment files. I think they're probably ready at this point in the course to try that. I hope your students find this an interesting topic, and more importantly, I hope you find it's interesting to teach and these materials were helpful. Right, thank you.